Hey there, my name is Pravus. Welcome to more Hearts of Iron 4 Darkest Hour. We are playing as the Empire of Japan. It is the beginning of 1939. World War II hasn't started yet. We've conquered all of China. And we did so, losing only about, 80,000 men and killing about 1.6 million Chinese soldiers. So like a 20-for-1 KD ratio, that's pretty darn good. That's really darn good. So now we are turning our attention to the United States. And the question is, should we take these guys out early so that they don't have a chance to be a major threat to us? And I think the answer is going to be a resounding yes. So we're going to go over here to the Philippines, and I'm going to go ahead and start justifying on them. Justifying on satellite being an easy way to attack the US, while hopefully not having to worry too much about everything else that's going to follow after that. We have some extra factories to work on. I think we'll just keep focusing on some small arms for now. And I do think if we're going up against the US, it would make sense to toss some anti-air into my armies. Do we have enough? Oh, we've got more than enough. You only need 12 anti-air? How many factories am I putting into anti-air again? Because it's only one, and yet we've got a stupid amount. Okay. Yeah, some of these support companies, you don't need a lot of equipment in order to actually get them going. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, so the idea being, if we're going to go up against the United States, they are going to have a large air force. They may not have a fantastic army. It's not as large as mine right now, though that could change. But the air force is scary, so having some anti-air gives me a slight advantage. When we do attack, I think what we'll end up doing is trying to make a push up into Alaska instead of going the route through Hawaii. Reason being, if I am correct, let's see, I should only have to protect like 1, 2, 3 or so sea tiles along here, and then I can do a hop from Alaska, 1, 2, into Washington and Oregon, instead of having to have superiority in all of these tiles up in the Pacific. It's just too much. This lets me keep my Navy somewhat concentrated, so that I don't have to challenge the entirety of the US Navy. I can just hop into Alaska, then hop down here, and we'll do a West Coast push east. I never do that, by the way. It is very rare that you will see me start in the West Coast and push to the east. It's always the opposite. So this is going to be interesting. We have finished expanding the SNLF, and I realized, by the way, I made a mistake on this one. It's not nearly as exciting as I thought. In the last video, it's one of those things where you read something and the brain doesn't totally process the way it was supposed to. This is a 100% research bonus for marine technology. As in, let's say, the Special Forces Marines, not landing craft Marines, which is what I wanted. So, oh well, we're not going to have 1940 tech to use against the US anytime soon. That is unfortunate. I'm going to try the whole depreciating of the yen thing, which I know is going to reduce my social spending, which actually scares me a bit because I feel like this is only bad. However, it does say new social spending options are going to be available. I don't know what that means, so I'm experimenting with it now before I start pulling back the budget on the military, so I have some idea what the game means by extra spending. Yes, question the motives of the Philippines. Absolutely, these guys are atrocious. They're fiends, every one of them. I'm currently infiltrating the civilian administration, but the goal is to try to get some collaboration governments, because having as much compliance with the US is always going to be helpful, and reducing the amount of victory points I need to conquer from them before they collapse, also pretty useful. The prince's departure. Seonji couldn't decide whether he should be happy or sad. It looks like Fumimaru's leaving me. Oh, due to peace negotiations failing and the war dragging on longer than expected. How is this possible? The war ended way sooner than expected. Way sooner than expected. All right, well, anyway. Let's see. His liberalism and contradictory nation, attraction of fascism, clashed, blah, blah, blah. So wait, are you telling me that Fumimaru's gone and we got a liberal in charge of the government again? Is that what just happened? The judge. A shift in Europe. Different meeting, same topic. Hiranuma was getting tired of it all from the moment he became prime minister, dominated by the same debate over and over about whether Japan should form an alliance with Germany. Oh, let's see. We have our anti-communist pact. Do we allow this? The room erupted into occasion. The German-Soviet non-aggression pact. Somewhat. Wait, hang on. What? What? Oh, wait. We're finding out that the Germans and the Soviets are not going against each other. Okay. This isn't me doing something stupid. This is finding out that they did what they did. No, I was thinking maybe that was Matsuoka, but no, it is not. Okay, all right, we're not back on track with something else. The judge is powerless again. Oh, good. They have their non-aggression pact. The chaos ensues, and you gotta be kidding, he resigned immediately. For frick's sake, he lasted like a week, at most. Oh, gosh, is Japan doomed? What the heck is happening here? The army offers aid. Nobuyuki Abe was exhausted. Abe, really. I'm gonna call him Abe, though. The international situation has been complicating his work in foreign affairs for several days now. He's finally ready to go home after hours of hard work. Announce that you are the new prime minister. What? He's resigned. And I was suggested? The army thought you would be a good choice. Right. All right, settle into your new office, bud. Oh man, the promotion that no one was looking for. We've depreciated the yen. The general has been appointed as the 37th minister. The man was chosen for his position because of his no neutrality between the army's factions. Oh gosh, he also never belonged to either of the factions, which is pretty helpful. He's also unique in that the Navy supports him. Despite these positives, a number of Army senior officers do not respect him because of a lack of combat experience, and he is a happy amateur. Oh gosh, I can't keep track of all this anymore. And now we're losing out on some money modifiers. Well, thank you for that. That's just great, ain't it? So let's see. I can't move on with any of this until I also curb the military spending. Let's take a quick second and look at the whole spending stuff and just see if there is something new I can do. Economic policy's not it. We should always be doing this when we can. That's not it. Local agent recruitment. Nothing new has appeared that I can see as far as social policy spending, which worries me tremendously. Am I able to change my social spending again? Nope, it is still not possible to change this. Well, what the heck is this doing? I don't even know. I don't know. Okay, we've curbed the military spending, God save me. More civilian factories, military factories, or move to limited exports, which lets us keep more of our resources. Yeah, we're changing all of our laws and not necessarily in the directions that I would have liked, which bothers me just a bit. So we should have managed to get into the civilian administration. So let's resume with the spying over here in Washington, D.C. So this is all now taken care of. We get a little bit of political power as a result. But yeah, now I just need to get this up, and we will try for a collaboration government when the time becomes available. Logistically, how are we doing right now? We are looking pretty good in terms of our equipment. We've got another 25,000 guns or so. I guess I don't mind training up, let's say, another 8 of these to get a full army down that direction. Plus, you know, I wouldn't even mind getting some extra cavalry. They worked pretty well as far as the speedy division earlier. And we have more than enough equipment to go around for all that, too. Excellent. This is what we like to see. We should definitely be upgrading some more of our support companies. That would make sense. Defense, entrenchment, more recon. Signals. Do we have anything that reduces our supply further? Yes. I could see that becoming a bit of an issue if we don't control enough points in the US. And with large armies, I just feel like supply companies are just that much more important. So we've given the game plenty of time at this point to tell me if I'm going to have new spending options. What do we got, guys? Anything? No? So you lied to me and made me make a weaker army and stuff for no reason. Well, thank you for that. Let's go ahead and finish up one of our doctrines, I guess. Tanks, armored units, doesn't do anything for me, really. But I'm not really spending my power on anything else at the moment. I might as well just finish it up so I don't have to worry about it anymore, and there we go. And I will go for the air support mission efficiency. I see that as being generally pretty good. That affects the close air support, right? Anything that gives me an efficiency boost for close air support is all right in my books. Some more civilian factories finishing up right about now. Then we'll go ahead and pick up the extra military factories down this way. 2 more military complexes, I should say. We are about 1 month away from being able to launch our invasion against the US, which is going to be fine. No more Han incidents. Since our invasion of Manchuria in 1931, we've been eyeing our new territory in the Soviet Union. Of course we have, right. Let's see, rapid buildup of forces. Is this going to be another one of those border skirmishes? Oh, Lord knows, I love those border skirmishes. They're just so fun. In the US, prepare collaboration government. Yes, please. Kind of wish we had a 3rd spy. Because with the 3rd spy, we can maintain the spy network, so that it'd be very easy to just keep doing this again and again and again without me having to micromanage it, but oh well. So with 88% intel, though, we know that the US still does not have very many troops fielded right now. Their fielded manpower is a pittance. I've got like 1 million men in the field, and they've got about 180,000. Like, if we can move fast, this really can be an absolute huge win for us. Oh, and there is the justification. Okay, anyone in the faction I should know about? Still no? Alrighty then. US is going to be at war with us right about now. There we go. OBK, here we go. And some of the troops are already on their way, which is great. Facing the war's expansion, we've been at war with Asia for many years. Not as of late, no, but thank you. All right, Abe has proposed a solution. Requests we experiment with integrated trade practices. We will think about the proposal. I am sure that has something to do... No, not with our trade laws. We were talking about doing something like that here with the commodity measures. But that doesn't seem to be a thing right now. Anyway, troops are on the way. The foreign ministry opposes me. Well, that didn't go according to plan. All right, he finally left the government office a few days later, seeing a total lack of support for the issue, which is going to make him look pretty weak. The happy amateur has made a amateur mistake, and, well, it's looking like he's going to be losing some power pretty soon, I'm guessing. Let's go ahead and strike that Soviet base. I want them going boom. And now we've lost the business world. Okay, so, can he still hold power? Gosh, at this point, I'm going to go with probably not. He's not exactly been doing a great job so far. Hey, we landed here in the Philippines. Forget these naval invasions, we got a port. Let's just launch all these guys over here. Like so, and let's just march straight into Manila. So this is kind of the big moment of truth here. I assume we're going to be able to land against the US unopposed. We'll snag this port real quick. Shouldn't be hard. There we go, got that. All right, that's all we needed from you. Now we're about to land with the rest of these guys up over here. Synergy of the old and new. Let's get the research slots. More upgrades in 1939 seems like a very good idea. My navy all of a sudden is not looking great. Did we lose the naval dominance? No. Well, I don't know what the problem is, but my troops should still be arriving. There they go. Let's go ahead and start marching, shall we? Unfortunately, these cavalry are still really, really slow. The lack of anything. Oh, gosh, and we're now running into resistance. Guess who's arrived? It's the Americans. Right, I need troops to get up over here, please, and help defend this for now. Even with low supply, with some numbers, we'll be okay. At least I'm building up some naval ports, so once we get some supply over here, it's gonna be fine. But I am just a little bit concerned about some of this. Could go for some upgrades to things like radar. I kind of... I really want to be getting some upgrades for things like my destroyers for some patrol craft. Because I have very good reason to believe that the US is sending subs against me right now, which is very irritating. So I'd love to get rid of that. Alright, with some extra reinforcements, now we can push these American soldiers back. We'll see how much he ends up bringing to the party. Kinda wish that I had an airfield over here as well. Is it possible to build an airbase? Not without more control than this. He is retreating. If I can just get to a naval base up here, this also makes my life a whole lot easier. Hey, look, a load more cavalry. I don't dare send them over there right now because, well, I don't want to lose extra cavalry if this goes terribly. Speaking of going terribly, you guys, seriously, have broken up all the lines in the worst possible way. That's an extra research slot for me, which is always nice. It's kind of weird to me that this is over on the right-hand side when it requires this one on the left, and this one's on the left when it requires the ones on the right. Those should be swapped, yeah? Yeah, I think so. All right, time to go for the limited exports. You know, I knew that moving through Alaska was going to be rough. It's a lot rougher than I thought. I didn't think it was going to be this slow. Okay, we've got the commodities law. Let's go for synthetics. We still can't do this thing, can we? No. See, but like, if Fumimaro's gone... maybe he comes back. I don't know. I have a bad feeling that everything's borked. Uber duper borked. All right, can we please just get into Anchorage real quick? Like before any more American reinforcements arrive? Because that would really make my day. It really would. 20 or so days, by the way, until our first round of collaboration government is done, and that's going to help me a lot. And that is Germany declaring war on Poland. Bada boom. Okay, it has happened. World War II has begun. Don't worry, I'm going to do my part to knock out the US before they can save Europe. It'll be fine, it'll be fine. We're about to take Anchorage. That's going to be a nice new boost of supply. Boom, all right. Everyone's going to start moving around a lot faster all of a sudden. Thank you. Troops are on the way. In a couple of weeks or so, we'll be able to go ahead and launch toward Seattle. If I can land around Seattle, and we should be able to, and grab this quickly, that's going to be pretty huge. Some of my cavalry are still trying to march through this area. Just for the sake of it, I'm going to go ahead and build out another port in that area just for a very small amount of supply to ensure that we can hold on to that. But Alaska is basically now mine. The Americans have only managed to snag a few islands, and I'm about to land on their primary territory, which is huge. I need to take a break for a second, real quick. I'll come back. Don't worry, the video's not over. But I have to take my wife on a hot date, so I'll be back later. And we are back. Okay, sorry folks, it is now first thing the next morning, and we are going to resume where we left off. Just wanted to have a nice dinner with my wife, you know? Spend the rest of the night with her for a bit. That was pretty awesome. Anyways, still trying to drink my coffee and wake up. We'll see how well I perform. We're about to launch our invasion of Seattle. Just wait a couple more days, and then we need our fleet to be in position, which we're currently working on. I did manage to get a collaboration with the US, so I've got the spies back over there. But if we take a look at my collaborations, 40% on the first one. That's a pretty darn good roll. So I'm real happy with how that's turning out right now. Everything's looking fine and hunky-dory. So, Abe, are you still going to be here for much longer, or are you going away? I'm just kind of curious, because we've been churning through the prime ministers pretty aggressively. I really should just, like, check, you know, from, like, a history of all the prime ministers of Japan. And just see if there's any historical basis in this, because I don't know. You know what? I'm tired of talking about how I'm worried about not following history stuff. Let's look this up right now. Hang on. Prime ministers of Japan by year. Let's take a good long look-see here. Because what I'm looking for here is starting in the 1930s and stuff, going through like 20 of them or whatever it's going to be. Oh yeah, no, they went through quite a lot. Hold on. So 1936 to 1937, Hirota. Okay, so that guy was the correct prime minister, even though I probably wasn't supposed to make him foreign minister. That was the correct one for the prime minister position. Then we had Hiyashi, then we had Fumimaro, then we had Hirunama, then we have Abe. Next, we're going to have Mitsumasa, and then back to Fumimaro in 1940. Is that how this is all going to work? Huh. Wow, Japan really did go through a load of prime ministers. That's interesting. I really had no idea. Finally, the Philippines is out of this nonsense. Good. I was getting really tired of having to deal with you. Alright, I need to get a fleet together at some point to go and do some more little island hopping down over this direction, but none of this is nearly as important as landing successfully in Seattle, so we'll hold off on that for a little bit. We have finished with the synthetic solution to pollution is more oil. No, we can't do anything over here anymore. We've actually gotten through all of this. Huh. Alright, so that's all done. There's nothing I can do there. And there's nothing I can do down here until France falls, and it is after 1941. Okay. It doesn't have to be 1941. France just has to fall. So we probably can't do that for about another year. That leaves upgrades to Navy, and it means upgrades to bombers and stuff. I guess we'll go for bombers and stuff, but yeah, kind of running out of things to do there. We could go to a war economy now, by the way, which, yeah, losing some consumer goods is bad for money, but I think it's a good thing to do at this point. We're not making much cash, but I'm also sitting on a lot of cash. I'd rather just go for lots of factory output and get a whole load more equipment produced, plus some extra research speed, since that's apparently included in that list, which seems pretty good to me. Field hospitals, maintenance companies don't care. We could go for some more engineers. I guess we'll just go ahead and finish those out. So, Navy. Naval invasion support, please. And then you guys go. So the troops are on the way. Hi, how you doing? Hopefully this isn't a mistake. If I can just get enough victory points in local supply, even if I have to make a beeline down to Portland, that solves some problems. Then I can start flooding troops into the US. And that right there is the entire plan. Okay, I need to land and assist here and here, get some flanking bonuses going. You guys go ahead and make a beeline directly for Portland, as I suggested. And then we're going to try to grab around the railroad. We should be getting some assistance now from our naval bombardments, which is going to be great for us. Get some extra reinforcements this way. There it is. All right, now that we have Seattle, supplies looking great. Okay, well, with that taken care of, we can reorganize the troops. And we need to flood some units in here before they have a chance at really responding. So if I can get some Air Force set up over here, that's going to be great. We can do so now. I'm going to go ahead and basically start with just getting mostly fighters, I think. Not that I have a lot to spare, but let's say 600 fighters plus 1, 2, 3, 4 casts, 400 casts. That'll do the job. Air superiority, close air support, go. That's what I want you guys to do. And most of you guys are going to be attached to this silver division once they arrive, which should be happening any second now. Yep, there's all the troops on the way. Hopefully we don't find ourselves getting too intercepted by the US. I can see that being a thing. We'll see. Docking the Navy up in a place in range of their planes seems ill-advised, to say the least. So we're going to go dock back up in Anchorage instead, thank you. Probably take more ports, because the more supply that I have, the easier it's going to be to sustain a larger front line. So we're going to continue working down the coast, primarily. Although, if I can... let's just keep going down this way for now. We'll see when we start running into some resistance. But for now, more airports are good. You guys push these guys out, get to the river. You take this river, get to Spokane. And we'll just try to take some of the local supply points as well as some major junctions of railroads. All that works great. And this is where the speedy of the cavalry is pretty nice right now. These guys are actually moving fairly quick. I like it. I like what I'm seeing. This is good. To be clear, once the Americans arrive, I expect that we're going to run into some issues where I don't have enough troops on the front line and we'll lose some of this ground. But the more we push now, the harder it's going to be for the Americans to contract us down to a level that matters. More cavalry are arriving as we speak, which is going to be great. Still pushing down to grab another port. Got it. All right. And the United States has a pretty decent infrastructure network. So, I mean, we're going to be getting some pretty decent supply. It's across the Midwest and the deserts in the Southwest that I'm worried. But if we can push down around to, like, Texas, for example, rob them of their oil. Woo! Woo! Wouldn't that be fun? I'd like to think that right now the Americans are mostly in shock and not even sure how to redeploy their army quickly enough for this to matter. The United States is a huge country. Even if you are rapid redeploying, it can take a little while to get in there. I mean, to get your troops across the entire nation. If they're going to let me just march right into San Francisco, you better believe I'm taking it. There's Modesto, there's Stockton, Oakland, San Jose, Fresno. I've been to, like, all these places. I know these places. Santa Rosa, good. Ah, we found some American resistance. All right, hang on. We can sneak up behind him. Norway's in trouble. Ah, they're not going to let me just take over San Francisco. They're finally starting to fight back. Got it. Okay, hang on. All right, this is exactly what I said was going to happen. We're running into situations where I can't field the entire border. But that's because the troops haven't arrived yet. They're just now about to touch down in California. Give me one little bit more, and we'll be there. There we go. San Francisco is mine. That's going to be a pretty big get. And then we sit tight for a second, stop pushing. Let the troops reorganize, figure out where we want them to go. Cavalry I actually don't want up here long term. I think I want the cavalry to push along the southwest with some speed. And actually, all of this is messed up, isn't it? Yeah, hang on. Let me reorganize all these lines. Okay, this should be a little bit better for me, I think. So mostly I'm going to focus down going along the southern border, try to get into a place like Texas, but we'll make some solid pushes along the Midwest. Getting up into, let's say, the Chicago-Detroit area would be huge. Getting into Atlanta, taking out their oil would be huge. And of course, getting to New England is going to be the hardest target, but if we can do so, that gets the US to capitulate. That said, having the extra collaboration is going to make it that much easier for them to simply say, "We surrender!" Yeah, so that's going to be the biggest goal of all. 1940, I'd like some upgrades to my artillery, please. Probably should have done that sooner, actually. So we're just going to sit back here for a second, wait for all the troops to redeploy, then we'll begin our renewed offensive. Bunch of planes are starting to arrive now. I'm going to go ahead and create some more air wings that I just control directly, because I don't want to have everything attached to the AI. Let's do something kind of like this, I think. That's a good few hundred extra planes. We'll use that. And I'll control them to work around, let's say, California specifically. Welcome to the Hotel California, where you check out never. All right, so we got that, so we can go for some more carrier models. Can't do that. First have to revisit some teachings. Never mind. Naval aircraft. All right, we're going to do both like that. Troopsies. Are you going to be arriving soon? Notice the U.S. is just not making any counterattacks against me, like, at all. Which is interesting. They just don't feel like they can afford to make a successful push into my territory and risk getting encircled in some way. Hi, Gim Gim. Good morning, sweet little boy. Did you wake up, Seas? You did. You want me to go and take my thing, don't you? And by thing, I'll just say it quietly, shower. He wants me to go take that. The boy is obsessed with me taking showers. He loves it. Oh, you heard that, did you? Someday I'm gonna have to do a video of him, like, literally body slamming himself into the glass because he just wants me to spray the water in his face. He loves it so freaking much. It's like the highlight of his day. Anyways, all right, so most of some of these troops are in position. Cavalry, I say go ahead and start moving. Red, follow up behind him. Don't need to be aggressive with any of this, but we should be able to grab places like Las Vegas, and that could be kind of helpful. Got access to some additional planes. All right, so that's going to be an upgrade to my attack aircraft. Love it. The Grand Duchy of Luxembourg is at war. Oh, woe is us. And Belgium, yep. So the Germans are just now starting to go through the Benelux region. And I've already taken over the west coast of the US. So, I mean, like, I think we're doing pretty well, okay? I don't know if it means I'm just navigating the mod fairly well here or what, but I think we're doing pretty good. Let's see if we can make a push into Phoenix, Arizona, and Flagstaff and stuff, because I can encircle a handful of units around San Diego if we go fast enough down here. It's not that there's a lot, but let's be honest, the US doesn't have a lot. Knocking out, let's say, 10% of their army is still pretty significant. Dude, the cavalry is working out great here. I'm always suspicious of things like cavalry, right? Because, like, it's not so good in the base game, but in this mod, they ain't half bad. They really ain't. This is not that bad to go ahead of time on these motorized, to be honest, so let's just go ahead and do it. Honestly, I'm not even worrying too much about my research path. I probably should be, but I'm not. I'm just kind of letting it be what it's going to be. So let's just push in directly to San Diego, except for some of you guys reinforced take that all out. That's going to kill my front line as far as yellow. I'll have to give them some new orders, but that does encircle quite a few Americans, so we're set there. Are the Americans fighting the Germans already? They are. All right. Apparently the Germans declared war on the US somehow. I'm not totally sure how they did that, given that the Germans weren't part of my faction, and as far as I'm aware, they didn't do anything that could declare the war, but okay, I guess. Hey, my railway guns are finally starting to make it across over here. That's awesome. No, UK, you may not have military access. All right, so we're going for man in the high castle, basically. That's what I'm doing right now. We're going for man in the high castle. Except Japan is going to reign victorious here, and Germany is going to get nothing by the time we're done with this. We're about to finish with that collaboration, government. That's another 20% for me. Alrighty then. I don't anticipate we're going to have time to go for a third one, if I'm honest, because I feel like we could probably wrap this war up in a few short months, if I'm careful. Still no sign of major American resistance, which is absolutely hilarious to me right now. As far as we know, they should have about 16 divisions, one army worth. It's not enough, obviously, but they should have them somewhere. I see a few of them at least got banished into Canada. Have fun with that. You guys are just sitting... Did the Americans literally just go hide in Canada? They might have literally just gone and hid in Canada because they don't want to fight me, which would be amazing. All right, I'm going to end this video here because I think it's actually a pretty good stopping point, but this has gone unbelievably well. Can't decide how much of it's the mod. Can't decide how much of this is because we attacked the US at the perfect opportunity before they militarized. It is, after all, only June of 1940. They should only now be really starting to mobilize pretty hard. And we're killing a lot of their industry, and we're about to kill all of their oil supply, which is going to destroy their Navy and their Air Force, and let us just run all the way through. We're going to get the entire United States, guys. All right, this is going to be awesome. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I'd ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.